Okay, very happy to be joined by Mark Ewen, who has a showcase bout at PFL Europe, just under 2 weeks away as we record this at the Ovo Hydro in Glasgow, 28th of September. Taking on Alex Chizov. Mark, how you doing, man?
I'm not bad, man. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Like we say, getting close to the fight now, so just give us this. I know obviously you haven't got to travel very far to get to it, so it's work, work, work all the way up until we get to the fight. But how are these next few days gonna look for you?
The same as the full camp has really been, mate. Just head down, get into work, mate. That's all we really do up here in Scotland, man. Just head down and graft. We work hard, we work often. Just do our thing, man. And I'm eager to get in there and then shine and perform and get a W, man. But like I said at the start, I'm just gonna for the next couple of weeks. I'll taper off fight week, but only a little bit. The next week's gonna probably be like the last kind of push. In the lead up to the fight, and then it'll be fight night before we know it. It's flown in.
This is your first time fighting at home in Scotland since your pro debut, I believe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's got to be exciting, and obviously to do it at the Hydro, that's the top arena in Scotland. I guess so. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot, mate. Like I said, it's very exciting, but I'm trying not to get caught up in that at the moment. It's been a while since I've fought here. I mind what it was like last time. It was nice. It was comfortable. It was cushy. It was cool. But this one's obviously got different. At the Hydro, it's a big stage. It's been a dream of mine to fight the Hydro, especially on a big show like this, PFL or whatever big shows that come here. But I'm trying not to get caught up in that, mate. I'm just focusing on the job at hand, training hard. I've got a test in front of me, so I'm totally focused on that. Making sure I go in there and just put on a good display of my skill set and get a W, man. Regardless of what it is, the main aim is to go in and get the win. And it'll just be so much sweeter when it is in Glasgow and it is in front of my home crowd and I get to celebrate with all of them.
Yeah, and you get to think about that after. I mean, I'm sure you've got plenty of people begging you for tickets for this one. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then it just, like you say, makes it sweeter afterwards. Alex Chizov is the opponent. He's a guy who's been around PFL for a couple of years. What are your thoughts on him?
He's decent. He's an okay fighter, mate. I feel like he's had quite a shit run in the PFL, to be fair. His first fight, he looked okay, and then after that, he had the fight against that Spanish guy that missed weight, and he basically lost that fight. But because the guy missed weight, he ended up getting a draw and then going forward in the tournament. And he's lost two after. I think what is he 1-3 or something in the PFL? Like I think he's only 1-3. Like he's only won one fight. The rest he's lost. So,
Yeah,
but
one and two.
yeah, so but before that, obviously he's fighting on other shows and he's obviously beat everybody. I think he was like maybe 9-0 or something before he joined. So he's had loads of fights. He's got experience in that. He's a decent fighter. He obviously has to be in the PFL. There's no way that I'm overlooking him at all. But I just feel like I'm just kind of rationalise his skill set. I just don't believe that it's on the pedigree of mine, and I don't think he's really beat the guys that I've beat, or just I don't think he has what it takes to beat me when it comes to it, mate. I just believe I'm a different fighter. Eh, I'm a great fighter, and I'm going to go on and show that.
What specifically is it that you think you have the edge over in? Where do you think the skill sets
Oh,
compare?
everywhere, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Grappling, much better. Striking, I'd say miles better as well. The variety of attacks, the skill set, the fight IQ, up there. Wrestling, just believe I'm better than him. And I think obviously he'll probably say the exact same. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's really it. I think if you're in this game and you really want to be a true great, then you truly need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in your skill set. And you need to be working on your skill set all the time, try to get better wherever you can and at all times. So he'll probably say the exact same.
Yeah, I was looking over your career as I was preparing for this. It was only about a year ago that you made that Bellator debut. It felt like longer than that to me. Like it felt like oh, you debuted a couple years ago and then you had some bad luck and been out of the cage for a while. But no, it's only been a year. Um, how do you kind of reflect on that year since I guess you were in Aries, your fight before was in Aries, and you stepped up to Bellator. Big win in the debut, then obviously bit of time off there as the PFL thing happened. Last fight, obviously, unfortunately, didn't go your way. How do you kind of reflect on the last year since making that Bellator debut?
My full pro career's been a wee bit of a weird one. Like I mind. I was trying to turn pro. If you look at from when my last amateur fight was to my pro debut, it's quite a while. Do you know what I mean? But I was
Yeah.
trying to get a fight, a pro fight, right after my last amateur fight. Like I was trying to turn pro. It took me a while to finally get a fight. I then got two back to back, and then I was trying to get another one that year. Struggled for a long time. I never fought until nearly a year nine again on
Hmm.
EFC. Had a pull out on Cage Steel, fought on EFC, then I was trying to get back out to EFC as soon as possible. That never happened. I ended up signing with Aris, getting a one fight on in December that year. And I was trying to get back out in like March, early that year, before I had a baby. I had a baby in May that next again year. So I was trying to get a fight before then. Couldn't get anything, mate. Struggled. So had the baby in May, and then I didn't fight till September. And after September, I was like I'm with Bellator, like keep me active. Let's get me back out in December.
Yeah.
They couldn't really promise me anything. They couldn't get me anything because obviously they were getting bought over by PFL at the time. So going into that new year and this new year, I was like, right, I just need to I need activity. I need fights. It's been all up in the air for so long. So I was like, I need to try and get activity. So I signed with PFL after that. Obviously, I was with Bellator, but I ended up signing a new contract with the PFL because they promised me they could keep me active. Obviously, I was scheduled to fight in March against Andres Binder. He missed
Yeah.
weight. I've then went on to compete in June against Claudio. That didn't go my way, but I've learnt from it. And I'm just eager to get back in there and get another fight in, and I want this one. And I'll hopefully get another one before the year's out. I want activity, I want fights, I want to test myself. I love what I do. I'm so passionate about this sport. I'm so passionate about what I do. I really am living the dream, and I just want to be able to chase my dreams, and I want to be able to compete as often as I can and just fulfill my potential, really.
Yeah. Does the things feel more stable now in PFL? Obviously you talk about you had like a long wait to get that
Hmm.
first fight, but I mean now you had that first fight, 3 months later you're back in there. Things feel better.
Yeah. I would say they're a bit more stable now. I think it's just MMA. It's just such an uncertain game, isn't it? Like the
Yeah.
uncertainty's always there. It doesn't matter who you're with, the UFC, PFL. Like I think unless you're in the tournament and you know exactly when you're going to be fighting, that's what I'm kind of wanting. Obviously, I want a schedule. I want to know when I'm fighting. I want to know who I'm fighting. Just help me prepare. But I think it's a lot more stable now, and I'm with now that I'm with PFL, so it's going to help massively for preparation for fights and just preparation for me getting better and developing as a fighter. But I'm happy to be with a big promotion now. Obviously, I've got a multi-fight contract, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, modified contract that you say. Ideal scenario next year, PFL Europe season.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I'm honest with you, mate. I should have been in the PFL European season this year. What
Yeah.
happened was the first show was in March, obviously in Paris, and obviously Paris being new, the commission's tight. And because I
Yeah.
was only 5-0 at the time, they said they couldn't accept me for the tournament because my record wasn't as extensive as other guys. So then I was told I was going to be a reserve. Me and Andres Binder, the winner, that would be the reserve for the tournament. Obviously, he misses weight. They then told me I was the reserve for the tournament. And now I think that doesn't even make sense. Like I'm not the reserve anymore. But there's no reason why I can't be in the tournament next year. You know what I mean? As long as I'm not
Yeah.
in fucking Paris again, because CBA with that commission, they're so tight, man. Even the medicals and stuff. Try to get the medicals done with the French commission. It's a nightmare.
Have you had discussions with PFL about getting in next year, or is it just kind of
I've actually
assumed?
not. No, I've actually not. But I think they'll know after this. After I make a
Yeah.
statement here, I think they'll need to. If not, listen, mate. The world's my oyster. I truly believe I'm going to go on and be a world champion. It doesn't matter where it is, whether it's here at the PFL or Bellator, UFC, whatever. Like I know where I'm headed.
Yeah, obviously you were in Bellator and then coming over to the PFL. How was this integration for you? How did you find everything?
Easy enough, mate. But see, after
Yeah.
I fought Bellator my first fight, we were all in the dark. We never had a Scooby. I fought that fight and then no one knew what was going on. I was asking the guys like Jude Samuel and I was asking all the guys that fought in Bellator before, but do you know what's going on? What's going on? Because obviously I wanted to fight again in the next couple of
Yeah.
months. And they only had like big shows in like Chicago and stuff after that, but no one really knew. But everyone was left in the dark. I think we only found out when I think it was Pete Murray who went on he went on AMA hour and kind of told everybody like how it's going to operate and what they're trying to do. But I still believe I think Bellator's going to be slowly disbanded and it'll just be the PFL at one point. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean I've literally not a clue. All I can really do is just focus on getting better and focus on
Yeah.
myself, and that's why hopefully if I can get in the tournament next year, I'll have a schedule I can focus on, and then whatever else happens. I'm just focused on getting the W's.
Yeah, obviously last time we saw you in the cage 3 months ago, fairly quick turnaround. Obviously that's what you want after you had some struggles early in your career with that. But what developments do you feel you've made in your game in that 3 months? What's the difference between the Mark Ewen we saw back in June and the guy stepping into the cage in a couple of weeks? I know it's not that long, but
Nah,
obviously I know
but there's
you
definitely
put
progress being made.
yeah.
There's definitely progress being made. I want to tell you, but I'll let you wait and see.
We'll
I can
find
just
out.
guarantee
We'll
you
find
that,
out September
yeah,
28th.
100%. I can just guarantee you that there's gonna be fireworks, mate. I'm in the gym year round anyway, so we were right
Yeah.
back in the gym. Even if I won that fight, I would have been fighting again in Glasgow, right? Regardless, they can't come to PFL. PFL can't come to Glasgow and not have me on the card. Do you know what I mean? So that was inevitable. But I've definitely made some progress. So like right back to work with my coaches, iron some stuff out. Uh, and just I'm getting back to a wee bit of my old self as well. Like I'm not. It's not exactly just trying to. Obviously, I'm progressing and getting better and developing as a fighter, but I'm also tapping into that young me that was like just destroying guys. Like the intention was there. Do you know what I mean? And just the intention's different in this one. I'm going in here with bad intentions. I'm going to put this guy away, like hurt him. Like I'm not, and I'm happy to be in there for 3 5s, 15 minutes, just getting to work on him. I don't care. I'm not looking for the finish. I'm not looking for anything like that. If it comes, it comes. I've never looked for the finish other than my last fight, and that's where I believe I went wrong because the intention was all wrong. I just tried to bang him out, and I thought I'm going to bang him out. I'm going to bang him out. I thought one shot's going to finally get him. And that's never, ever, ever been my game plan. It's never, ever been my intention. I've always been in there smart and calculated, willing to be in there for 15 minutes and just pick away at guys, cook them, fry them up. And eventually the finish happens. And when it does, I'm happy, but
Yeah.
it's never forced. And then that was a problem in the last fight. So I'm going back to myself. I'm going back to who I was. And this next fight, I'm not asked if I get a finish, mate, but I just know I'm going to dominate.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to that for sure. You obviously mentioned they're not going to go to Scotland and not have you on the card, but obviously we've got Stevie Ray in the main event, Robert Whiteford, two real pioneers of Scottish MMA. Then on the other side we got like guys like yourself, Lorenzo, Gemma Old, really the new breed. Um, you don't get many big cards in Scotland. UFC were there 2015, something like that. Cage Warriors run Glasgow quite a bit now, but you don't get that many shows like this. So what does a show like this in Scotland mean to the scene as a whole?
Oh, it's massive, mate. Like I say, it's been how long has it been since the big shows came here, and now they're coming, and I'm so happy and proud to be a part of it because I feel like this is just the start. As MMA gets bigger and develops in this country, as will the promotions coming. Do you know what I mean? The UFC might come at some point. The PFL, hopefully, this is going to be a great show sellout. They're going to come back. Cage Warriors have now been here twice in this year, so hopefully these shows keep coming up here, man, because we definitely have the talent, and now the fans are really getting behind the fans are getting behind the fighters. I feel like they can sell out arenas and stuff, and really push it, and it will help progress and develop the sport in this country, and that's really one of my main aims as well, mate, because when I first started, like even sometimes now when I say to people I do MMA and they're like, "What's that?" They don't have a clue, but
Yeah,
I want everybody to know what we do and that we're professional athletes and we take this serious and we're just like your footballers or your rugby players and that, if not like better, and we train harder and more. Do you know what I mean? We are like we're no barbarians. We're not the cage fighters. We are
yeah.
like professional athletes. We are martial artists. We are modern day gladiators that people like love to watch and compete. So this is going to be it's going to be massive, I think, for MMA in Scotland, and hopefully, kind of they come back and this keeps happening, and it's just only going to boost the sport.
Yeah, perfectly. Like you say, a lot of young talent coming up, a lot of it in your gym as well at a higher
Yeah.
level. Yeah, the future looks bright. Just looking from the outside, looking from down south, the future looks bright up north.
No
I have a quick fire segment, so I'm just going to ask you some quick fire questions.
worries.
And favorite food?
Your favorite food?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that's hard. Pasta. I'll just go
Favorite?
rapid, right? I'll go rapid. I'll just say whatever
Yeah,
comes to my head first.
sure. Favorite drink?
Water.
A very common choice with the athletes. Favorite breakfast cereal?
Cinnamon one. Curious of cinnamon. Love that.
Favorite movie? This is the one that always gets people.
Bro, I'm a film connoisseur, mate, so I've seen a lot of good films, mate. I'm just gonna say Interstellar,
Favorite TV show,
Game of Thrones,
favorite musician,
Dave.
favorite sport other than MMA.
At the moment, NFL.
Yeah. Who's your team?
I like the Kansas City Chiefs, but I also like the 49ers, mate. So it's like, it's a hard one.
um, favorite fight. So favorite of your fights and favorite fight in general.
Favorite fight for me would be my pro debut, and then Joanna on Jacek versus Zhang Wei Li.
That one comes up a lot. That one
It's a
comes
great
up a
fight.
lot. Yeah. Um, favorite fighter.
Favorite fighter,
Yeah.
Israel Adesanya or Volkanovski or Leon or Sean O'Malley. They're all my guys, isn't it?
Did you watch Sean last night? What do you think?
I've not actually seen the fight yet. Nah, I need to watch it, but
Ah,
I've seen he lost, and I seen he wasn't too scunnered about losing. So, and I've seen some bits say Marab's a machine, mate. Do you know what I mean? He was
yeah,
never going to stop. He was going to have to kill him to to beat him, and it's a hard ask.
yeah. Favorite submission to practice.
Rear naked choke.
Funniest person you've met in MMA.
Funniest person I've met. Stevie Ray, maybe.
Yeah.
He's a funny character. Or Kieran Reid. Kieran Reid's hilarious.
Best piece of advice you've been given.
What if it could work out better than you ever imagined? No one gave me that advice. I'm just I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna tell the truth and say no one gave me that advice, but I'd heard that before on a podcast.
Yeah.
Someone asked him that question, what's the best advice you've ever been given? That's what he said. And that's something I've been saying since I heard it. Like it's one I love it. Like what if it could work out better than you ever imagined? No one's ever told me that, so I'm lying to you, mate. I don't know. I
I
didn't get
mean,
much advice.
you heard it on the podcast, so you took the advice from the
Yeah,
podcast.
that's it. Yeah,
I'll allow
I'll
it. It
take that.
counts.
I'll take that.
Yeah. That's all. Thanks for taking the time today, Mark. Just finally give us the hard sell. When yourself and Alex Chisel step into the cage over Hydro, what can the people expect?
The Scottish people can expect exactly what they're expecting. It's gonna be a special night. It's gonna be monumental, pivotal for Scottish MMA. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a mad night. Obviously, me and all my teammates on it. Really going to hopefully blow the roof off the place. I want this to be an electric atmosphere. I want it to be loud. I want them singing. I want it to be carnage. I just want a great night, a special night for everybody in attendance and everybody that competes on the card. I think it truly will be. And obviously, I'll be redeeming myself and getting back in the win column with a great finish or a great domination.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. Thanks again for taking the time. Best of luck.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.